Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadguram Brahma Vidvaram Sadguram Brahma Vidvaram. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യായിനീം Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैः Gayanti Yam Samagaः Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Na Vidussuras Suraganah Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Hari Om. Quickly reviewing the verses that we covered last class. Evam bahuvida yajnaha vitata brahmano mukhe vidditan sarvan karmajan vidditan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase. So Bhagavan talked about many different yajnas, and they're all given in the Vedas. And one thing that is common to all of them is that all of them are born from action. Those are karmas. Of course, they give purity of mind, and with that purity of mind, one has to take to Jnana Marga, gain the knowledge, and then get liberation. Further, knowing that all the actions are being performed by the body, mind, all the upadis. They're all done by them. But who am I? I am the Atma. I am the akarta. I am ever the non-doer. Once you know that and you abide in that knowledge, you are liberated. Evam jnatva vimokshase. Knowing it in this way, you are liberated. So, the most important thing in this process is that jnanam. So, jnanam is very much emphasized. So, Bhagavan added, Shreyan dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajnah parantapa sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. So, jnana yajna is superior to all other yajnas. All other yajnas. Because all those actions culminate in jnana. The final step is jnanam. And with jnanam, you get liberation. So it is superior to all other yajnas. Then how do you gain that knowledge? Beautifully it was said, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninastatvadarshinaha. So if you are a seeker, you should approach a qualified guru. Surrender to him, serve him, and seek Atma Jnana. Not anything else. So seek the self-knowledge, gain that, abide in it, be liberated. The guru will give you jnana. A qualified guru, a guru worth the name, if you approach that guru in this manner, he will definitely teach you. You will gain jnana and liberation. So we have seen up to this last class. Now let us see what happens next. Verse 35. Yajñātvā na punarmoham. Yajñātvā na punarmoham. Evam yasyasi pandava. Evam yasyasi pandava. Yena bhutanya sheshena. Yena bhutanya sheshena. Drakṣasyatmanyato mayi. Drakṣasyatmanyato mayi. Yajñātvā na punarmoham. Evam yasasi pandava. Yena bhutanya sheshena. Drakṣasyatmanyato mayi. So with the previous verse, verse 34, the glorification of means of knowledge, how to get that knowledge, all that has been covered. Now, the following verses begin, following topic will begin from the 35th verse, and he talks about Jnana Phalam, the benefit of gaining this knowledge. Of course, very briefly we had said, you gain the knowledge, abide in it, you are liberated. Of course, that is. Little bit more is being said here. Bhagavan presents the benefits in different ways, in different contexts. So in this verse, he presents Jnana Phalam in two different ways. The first benefit is Moha Nashaha. Moha, delusion, confusion, conflicts that we come across in life, and that jnana puts an end to all of that. One of the biggest problems that we have in life is dealing with internal mental conflicts. Arjuna surrendered to the Lord because he could not resolve those conflicts by himself. He tried, he could not. So finally, he gave up and said, I cannot do it. Take me as a disciple and tell me what is absolutely good for me. Arjuna was not an uneducated person or anything. He has been living with, moving with Bhagwan Sri Krishna for decades. He knew dharma, what is right, what is wrong, all that he knew. And he was a very dharmic person also. He didn't lack Dharma Shastra knowledge. He knew Duryodhana and company are Atatayis. We saw Atatayi, criminals deserving capital punishment. He knew what all they have done. Atrocious things, criminal acts only they perform. And so he had to deal with them, and he dealt with them, tried to negotiate with them, tried all non-violent methods. All of them failed. And then the decision was made to fight this righteous war. They came to the conclusion that was the only solution. Even then he was confused whether I should fight. Not only Bhishma and Drona, even should I kill Duryodhana? How can I kill anybody? So, in spite of knowing all about Dharma, good, clear knowledge he had, why did Arjuna have such a conflict? See, knowledge, any amount of information that we get, any amount of knowledge we get, it will not conflicts. Because the source of that conflict, those conflicts come from attachment. Raga, Ragadvesha. And that's why throughout Bhagavad Gita, this Ragadvesha will be talked about time and again. You have to get over likes and dislikes, attachment and aversion. So sometimes we have so much of attachment to things, beings, people, situations, etc. I don't even want to think about an adverse future event that will jeopardize such things. So attached to them. I'm not ready to face the future results. Arjuna was not ready to face the day when Bhishma and Drona will not be there anymore. Come to the battlefield. At the same time, he was not ready to let Kauravas continue to rule the kingdom. That also he didn't want to do. It has to be one or the other. He had to choose. But he was not ready for either of the two actions. So naturally he is torn. So our ability to face the future results, future actions, future outcomes, that causes a lot of conflicts in us. You cannot avoid such decisions in life. Sometimes we just postpone our decision. Postponing the decision is a decision in itself. It doesn't solve the problem. So many, irrational ways we deal with things. Any decision for that matter is risky only because future is uncertain. Every decision I make exposes me to an unpredictable future. If I'm not ready to face the future, I try to avoid making the decision, but I really cannot avoid the decision. But once I have self-knowledge, the advantage is I can face the future. Whether I'm a jnani or ajnani, I have to take decisions. That revolves around future outcomes. And I have to do that with what? With the available data right now. Whether it is a moral issue or even CEOs who are running the business, they have to make decisions in uncertainty only. The successful ones are the ones that are able to do it. And you have to do with the data that is available to you right then and there. Now, I know the future result may be favorable, may be unfavorable. I do not evade a decision because I'm not ready to face either of the results. Knowledge gives you strength to take decisions and avoid conflicts in life. So, yat jnatva, by gaining this knowledge, hey Pandava, Pandava here refers to Arjuna. Of course, all of them are Pandavas. All 5 of them were Pandu Putras. But here, when Pandava, when he calls out, it refers to Arjuna. He says, Punaha moham na yasyasi. Once you get this knowledge, you will not get into such conflicts, internal conflicts. You will be able to resolve them. You won't have any confusion once you get this knowledge. As you have now, you won't be in this situation. Second chapter also we saw. He said, Na chaitat vidmahak kataranno gariyah yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyahu. He said, I don't know whether we will win or they will win. He's crying like a child. I don't know which is better to fight or not to fight. Even if I fight, I don't know whether we will win or lose. Decision making is painful, but self-knowledge will keep you sane, gives you the strength to make decisions. So this is the first benefit. The second benefit is yena bhutani asheshena drakshasi atmani atomayi. You will have Jivatma Paramatma Aikya Darshanam. This is the essence of the second line. Bhagavan conveys this in an indirect way. You will understand that all living beings, the entire creation is resting in God. You will know Ishvara is Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham. Like the all-pervading space, that Ishvara supports the whole creation. And Bhagavan makes another statement, not only will you know the whole world is in God, you will also know that the whole world is in you. The entire world is in God and the entire world is in you. You will know this fact. And what is the obvious deduction from those two statements? You are God. This is like the wave being told, you are the ocean. Why? Because the wave is essentially water. The ocean is also water. Therefore, wave is the ocean. Like that, in ignorance, you are thinking you are this limited individual. But your essence is the same essence as that Paramatma. So you are essentially the Chaitanyam, the consciousness. In that Chaitanyam alone, the whole creation is resting. It is supported by that. Thus, Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam Pashyati. The Jnani sees that. He knows that. He understands that. That's the knowledge he gains. That's what being said. Bhutani Mayi Drakshasi. You will see all things in me. Atmani Pashyasi. You will see in yourself. You will see the entire creation, which is resting in the total self, is non-different from the individual self. So that Aikyam, that identity, you will know. So this is actually Mahavakya. Remember, what is a Mahavakya? We've seen it many, many times. Any statement that reveals this identity, Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikya, that is called Mahavakya. It is not just the 4 Mahavakyas. They are only samples. I've said that many, many times. One statement is taken from each Veda. But like that, there are so many Mahavakyas. Any statement. We have Mahavakya statements. In the Gita also. This is one such. What a big thing. This is Advaitam. This is what we saw in the Dhyana Shloka also. Advaitam Drutavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim. We chant that every day. This knowledge is what is revealed in the Upanishads. Atma is Brahman only. With this knowledge, you will have that Advaita Darshanam. You will see that non-duality. Thereafter, there cannot be any delusion. This knowledge, gaining this knowledge is no ordinary gain. Otherwise, in life, you gain so many things. Having plenty of wealth, having many university degrees, people are still confused, deluded, confounded. Their moha, shoka, bhaya, they don't go away. Here Bhagavan says, Yat jnatva na punar moham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhutani asheshena drakshasi atmani atomayi. You will know you are me. With this great reveal, he thought Arjuna would be very inspired. Get up and be ready to fight. Instead, he seems to say, I don't think I can be that. I cannot get that knowledge. So Bhagavan continues. This is a beautiful verse. I keep saying this is a beautiful verse for every verse, because every verse in Gita is beautiful. Verse 36. Api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnana vrijinam santarishyasi api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnanaplavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Now, Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives the third benefit. Sarva papa nashaha. Destruction of all sins. This cannot be done by any other means. There are so many means are there, what we call prayaschitta karma. Prayaschitta karma or actions that will negate past sins. They are there. Acts of atonement. It is there in all religions. You do something wrong, you take another action, repair the damage. All that is there. You can do. The only problem is, I've done so many of them. To take care of each one of them, that's a Herculean task. Okay? For one thing, our bundle of sins is so huge, gathered from so many repeated births. And we do not know what is in that list also. We are not privy to that information. If you know something, and you can take care of it, but there are so many of them. So repeated births we have done. And the worst is, you do some atonement for something that you have done in the past, but living in this life, you continue to do. So there's no guarantee the balance will go down. Sometimes you do it knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. So if you want to get rid of all the sins, that's going to be an unending project. So Bhagavan compares the sins to a huge ocean. He says it is vrijinam, aranamam, an ocean. You cannot cross the ocean so easily. But this jnana, this knowledge, is like a boat that will take you across. Or in these days, it's like a plane, hop on it, and you can cross the ocean. So that is the knowledge. Therefore, he says, suppose you are the greatest sinner in the world, not any sin you committed, api chet, even if, for the sake of discussion, asi, you are sarvebhyah papebhyah papakritamah. First sinner among all sinners. You're top of the class of sinners. Sarva, all that. Even then, samtarishyasi, you can still cross over all those sins. That is the beauty of this knowledge. Therefore, jnana plavena eva. Plava is boat. Jnana plava, boat of knowledge. This carrier will take you across. Vrijinam santarishyasi. You will cross over that ocean of sin. So knowledge is the best medicine. Only remedy for destruction of all papas, all sins. Therefore, the three benefits that we have seen are moha nashaha, destruction of delusion, complex. Aikya darshanam, you will have the vision of identity. Number three, papa nashaha. If you can cross over the ocean of sin through knowledge, that means through knowledge, you're crossing over all papas. What does it imply? That means the origin of that sin is ignorance. Knowledge takes care of sin. That means ignorance is the original sin. See, certain religions talk about the first sin, the original sin. And they address all people. Oh, sinners. Okay. Even though we are using the word sin, we have to understand the question of ignorance. That's the sin. That's all. The root cause is indicated as Mula Avidya. Ignorance is the root. Ignorance of the self is the root cause. Not any other sin you committed. From that only karma, karma, all of them come. The source of all that is ignorance. So the real papa is ajnana. And from this arise all wrong notions. Viparita bhavana. I don't know my true self. I take myself to be something else. Desires for other things arise. When desires come, when they become very strong, we perform actions. Some of them are good, some of them are not good. All of them leave impressions, and we continue. Since all of them started from ajnana, they can be removed only by jnana. Once you get that knowledge, everything can be wiped out. Therefore, that knowledge is the boat that takes you across the ocean of ignorance. So, Arjuna, don't be disheartened. You are a sinner. That only shows that you need this knowledge. Only an ignorant man needs knowledge. Still, Arjuna was not getting it. He seemed to say, the ocean is so vast, the boat is so small, it may break down, then I will drown. Now at least I am safe on the shore. I may be struggling, but I am alive. Even if the boat can take me across, how long will it take? So Bhagavan says, verse 37, Yatai dhamsi samedhognihi, Yatai dhamsi samedhognihi, Bhasmasat kuruterjuna, Bhasmasat kuruterjuna, Jnanagnes sarvakarmani, Jnanagnes sarvakarmani, Bhasmasat kurute tata. Bhasmasat kurute tata. Yatai dhamsi samedhognihi. Bhasmasat kuruterjuna. Jnanagnes sarvakarmani. Bhasmasat kurute tata. The fourth benefit is given here. Sarva karma nasha. Destruction of all karmas. Here karma means karma phala. Sanchita agami prarabdha karma. Karma phala. That's what we're talking about. So Shastra talks about three types of karma phalam. One is sanchita karma. That is the punya papa that we have acquired in the past births. So many births we have taken, all the cumulative karma, that bundle is called sanchita karma. And the second type of karma is prarabdha karma. Now from that bundle, A subset is fructified in this birth. In this birth, those prarabdha karma have fructified and they are ready to give you results in this birth. And the third type of karma is agami karma. In this birth, we continue to do actions. And those actions will generate karma phalas that we have to experience at a later date or maybe in another birth. So, these karmas are what are responsible for our repeated births. All karmas are destroyed with this knowledge. Bhagavan says sanchita karma is destroyed. Agami karma will be avoided. Once you gain that knowledge, you are no more a karta. Only karta can have karma. Atma doesn't have any karta. Once you gain this knowledge, you are one with that Atman. Atmavid Atmaiva bhavati. Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. Sa karta. So no more agami. And prarabdha, as far as prarabdha is concerned, that will come to an end when the body drops. Till that time it will be there and it will be the body that will experience. There is no way to avoid that. But with the knowledge, you don't identify with the body anymore. The body, mind, etc., they go through that prarabdha. And they will produce results. But the mind continues to be samam in spite of favorable and adverse situations that the jnani encounters. So those events do not affect the jnani. So prarabdha is also as good as destroyed because it doesn't affect the jnani. Therefore, sanchita is destroyed, agami is avoided, prarabdha is rendered ineffective. So this is the essence of this verse. An example is given to convey this idea. Knowledge is compared to a huge conflagration of fire. Jnana is compared to Agni, fire. Not a small little flame, but a huge inferno. All the karmas are compared to all types of fuel, wood. When the fire is very big, any type of wood that is put in the fire will burn. It will burn everything to ashes. All karmas are burned down to ashes by Jnana Agni. Fire of knowledge burns all karmas. So Bhagavan says, Yata, just as Samidaha Agnihi Yedamsi Bhasmasat Kurute, a well-kindled fire burns down all types of fuel to ashes. Tata, in the same way, Jnanagnihi, the fire of knowledge, Bhasmasat Kurute, burns down Sarva Karmani, all actions. The fire is in the form of a small flame, and if into that flame you throw a huge flammable object, say a big wooden chair or table, the flame will be put up. The chair or the table will not burn. But the wild forest fire we see year after year in California, in Arizona, Oregon, western states, which are so dry, millions of acres, it just burns down. It just gobbles up houses, cars, everything that comes in its way. Like that, the Jnana Agni will reduce all sins to ashes. When we listen to Vedanta for a few classes, occasionally here and there, and that too tentatively, not very attentively, that knowledge will be kindled a little bit. The little knowledge you read some other book, listen to some other guru, especially if he or she is a charismatic teacher, Whatever knowledge you picked up in the Vedanta class will be put out. The Gita knowledge that you pick up in a few sessions will fizzle out if you do not stick with it for a longer period of time. And until the knowledge becomes firm, stay with your Acharya. He may not be very exciting, may not be sporting a long beard, may not be cracking jokes left and right. Do not go guru hopping or guru shopping. Stick with the same guru, guru parampara. Otherwise, you will get confused only. Listening to many teachers, reading different philosophies will create a lot of confusion. Until the knowledge gets to be very clear, stay with the programs. Let the knowledge become a well-kindled fire of knowledge. Thereafter, you read any book, you will be able to understand what is being said properly. You will not have any doubts or confusion. Otherwise, everything will appear right. The previous verse, Bhagavan said, Sarva Papa Nashaha. In this verse, he says, Sarva Karma Nashaha. What's the difference between the two? Difference is, in the previous verse, Papa refers to only Papa karmas. But ultimately, Punya karmas are also destroyed. Even Punya karmas fall within samsara only. See, you do Punya karmas, then you have to go to Swargaloka. In all the enjoyments in heaven, there is no time for self-knowledge. After exhausting the Punya karmas, you'll have to come down again. Samsara continues. Therefore, Punya is also a bondage only. Jnana destroys both Punya and Papa. A Jnani goes beyond both. End of the Gita, Bhagavan will say, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Give up all dharmas, good and bad. Moksha is beyond dharma, adharma. Anyatya dharmat, anyatya adharmat. We've seen in Kathopanishad also. So, Jnanagnihi sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. Fire of knowledge destroys everything. Fire of knowledge renders all karmas impotent, cannot germinate. It will not give birth to other karma palas. A potent seed, if sown into the soil, sprouts forth. It can become a tree, can bear fruits. On the other hand, you roast the seed. You plant that in the soil, nothing will happen. In the same way, the fire of knowledge, you roast all seeds of karma. Karma can no longer bear fruits, cannot give results. The karma becomes nirbijam. This is what was said in the 23rd verse. Yajna charata karma samagram praviliyate. A wise man performs all karmas. They are dissolved then and there. They do not create, which will again produce desires that prompt actions. None of that will happen. This cycle is disrupted once and for all. Even though karmas are done, they don't create bondage. This is the glory of a jnani. This is the glory of this knowledge. So Arjuna gained this knowledge. Do not worry about how long it's going to take. You will destroy all your papas, papa karma palas. They are all destroyed instantaneously with the gain of this knowledge. This is the glory of jnana. Continuing, he says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham, nahi jnanena sadrisham, pavitramiha vidyate, tatsvayam yoga samsiddha, tatsvayam yoga samsiddha, kalenatmani vindati. कालेनात्मनि विन्दति न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalenatmani vindati. This is another famous Gita verse, quite often quoted. Nahi jnanena sadrisham. There is nothing that is equal to jnana. So in the first line of this verse, he talks about the greatness of this knowledge. Jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha nasti. There is no purifier which is as great as this knowledge. Very famous, popular sentence. Jnana is the greatest purifier, pavitram. There are many purifiers. Ganga Snanam, supposed to remove all sins. Various prayaschitta karmas are considered to be pavitram, purifying. Namajapa, great purifier. So many purifiers are there. Among all the purifiers, knowledge alone is the greatest. All those purifiers can destroy different types of impurities, but they cannot destroy one basic impurity. That is the original sin, what we talked about as a self-ignorance. The basic impurity is that ajnana. Avidya is the root cause. Other purifiers may destroy varieties of impurities, but they cannot remove ajnana. Ganga Jala cannot remove samsara. Only Gita Jala can. All other sacred waters can remove certain sins, but they cannot remove the Mula Vidya. Seen in Bhajagovindam. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam. Vrata Paripalana Matavadanam. Jnana Vihina Sarvamatena. Bhajatena Muktim Janmashatena. All those acts can remove sins, but only knowledge can purify the sinner. Therefore, jnanena sadrisham pavitram, no purifier that equals knowledge. Who gets this knowledge? So the sadhana topic follows. Yoga samsiddha tat swayam vindati. Samsiddha means a qualified person, someone who is well prepared, one who has refined himself, a cultured person. He has purified his mind, nurtured the sprouts from karma yoga, and is ready to grow into the tree of moksha. From atma jnana to grow the mind must be well prepared. Samsiddha. What is the method of preparation? Method is called yoga. We've already seen yoga refers to karma yoga. The mind that has been purified to a great extent will have to be cultivated. A religious way of life, Vedic life, that is the preparation. Such a life will take care of all physical, emotional, intellectual, moral health of a person. It's a well-integrated system. To put it in Vedantic language, tat atmani vindati. Such a person will attain the knowledge in the mind. Here, atma means the mind or the intellect. How much take? Bhagavan does not want to commit. The teacher can teach, but how much and how fast the student can learn depends on the student also. There are some students that make a 4-year degree course into a 6-year degree course. There are some people like that. That's up to you. But then there are others who finish it in 3 years. All that depends on you. Kalena vindati. In due course of time, this will happen. To put it positively, ere long, before long, you will gain. So don't ask how long will it take. Enjoy the journey. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.